Well, welcome back to another live stream with me, Mr. Dex. Okay, so I'm doing things a little bit differently today. I have a new setup, as you can see. That's not me in the bottom corner, just so we're clear on that. But I thought I'd make myself look like I was filming. Now what I'm going to do is have to fix a few things because I'm now seeing or hearing myself in my headset, which is not what I expected. That's thanks, Sloth. You're very cheeky there, looking a lot younger. You have no idea how old I am, or how I look for my age, shall we say. Right. Now the other part of my problem is I can see my chat on my OBS. I just can't reply to my chat on my OBS. So yeah, I'm gonna have to work that one out as well. I had hoped I could get away from using my phone as my chat medium. So for the time being, I will utilise that to talk to you, or at least read what you're telling me, but I'm going to struggle to be able to reply by text on that one. Cheers, Turtle. At least the subtitles will be helpful for your 6-year-old, eh? Right, I'm getting distracted already. First things first, we're going to put the time up, because we're not sitting at 8 AM for the entire day. Partly because I think the helicopter aircraft sound is time linked. At least I've noticed a lot more when it's been 8 in the morning as opposed to other times of the day. So we're going to do a fair bit today. I hope we are going to do a lot of corn, hence the intro. We have our 2 harvesters already at the fields I plan to go and harvest. We have them set up ready. There is a reason behind that, and that will become clear a little bit towards the back end of the stream. I'm also going to, or planning to, be streaming this till, if we go on the last stream, it'll be about 9 o'clock, which I'm more than happy to do because, you know, 2 hours flew by in no time. The 2 contracts though, I've had a quick look, we're looking maybe 20 minutes a piece, give or take, with a bit of transport in between, so we could get them done and knocked off within an hour. So we'll see how the time goes, see how many things occur, but yeah. So welcome. I am trying to see who's in. So we've got Sloth, we've got Turtle, we've got Happy. I don't think I've missed anyone just yet. To have a quick scoop back up the text. And I've also got an extra thing that I haven't enabled, which I have now, is I've got a view counter. So we're going to put that on as well. So that will hopefully help keep me track on who's watching. Right, here we are down at the first field, field 1, which is where our first field of corn is. Like I said, I've had everything a bit pre-set up ready to try and make the stream as smooth as possible. Not always possible, and appreciate that, Turtle. So yep, say hello back to your 6-year-old. If I could figure out a way of putting live subtitles on my stream, I would, except I don't know how to do that yet. I'm just wondering, and Sloth, you keep me right here because you are a moderator in the chat, what's the actual on-screen chat looking like? Is my web camera person in the way of that, or is the chat appearing above it? I'm also going to say this for nothing as well. There's about a 20 to 25 second delay on me talking to you and then it coming on the stream for me then to read any comments that you then say back to me. So that's the only caveat on that one. Right. Where's field? Right, field 1 there. We can accept the contract. We do not need to borrow the items. So we've got that going. I have Courseplay already set up for it. Do a slight cut in here. We don't need the straw on because we're not going to be collecting it. It's a contract after all. So we might need to move the chat up slightly. Right, I'll sort that out. So first waypoint. Let's get that going. And now I can sort my chat stream out. There we go. I think that's being moved adequately. And the new subscriber not come on the screen. Nothing's come up on the Streamlabs either for that at the minute. I have a historic one which I played back from 8 days ago.
You're awesome!
So you should be able to see that. So I have got one set up working, but I can't see your new subscriber yet. I'll keep an eye on that slot. And Liam, nice to see you here. Right, so get rid of that as well. Because we're clearly in the way. Nope, it's going to force him away. Okay. I'll hit that one on repeat again, Sloth, for you to see it. So if you, like I said, count 20 seconds from about now, and it should appear in the top right corner.
You're awesome!
So did you see that one in the top corner? Because I'm looking at my YouTube screen and I did see it appear there for the subs. Perfect. Okay, well I'm going to have to figure some of this out for the next stream, I think. It's a bit of a learning curve. I've done as much as I can with Sloth's help setting this up in advance, but some of it couldn't be done until a live test. Turtle AutoDrive is absolutely easy to learn in my perspective, but it depends on your own experience, I guess. So I'll just give a quick thing on AutoDrive. So obviously we've got the screen down here. I've got a pre-designed route from AutoDrive guy for this map. So a lot of this has been done by him or the team. If you look at the little triangle here, that's the AutoDrive route. And you can make a fair bit of customization to that. So for instance, I could come here. If I click on record, it'll start recording a line now if I wanted to. So then stop the record, that's a one-way track. If I right click on the record, it does a two-way track. And then I can click and join that into a pre-existing route, So in this case, I am going to delete the points because I don't need one in the middle of the field. Hello Thomas, very nice to see you here as well. I know in my last live stream as well as this one, I'm not quite sure whether I can see people who are watching the stream. I can only tell who you are if you type in the chat box. So it doesn't give me a list of who's viewing, it just says a number, and at that point I then need to see what you're saying to be able to see if you're actually in the session. Hopefully you and the little one don't drown their turtle, so you know, look after yourselves, and I'll hopefully catch up with you in a little bit. Right, now is that self-unloading? It should be. It should be set to unload off the first headland, which amazingly it is. I feel a bit like a spare part in this this live stream so far. So I think we will we'll take over the harvester potentially at some point. I'm not entirely certain why it's going through the crop. Oh, it's going to go all the way back round to where it clearly drove through the crop. Now what I haven't done, I need to potentially set AutoDrive on a loop, and then we can do the harvesting as opposed to the carting. Let's have a look. Where are we going? We're going to Farmers Market. So if I pick the Farmers Market on here, so yeah, so that should hopefully now put that on a loop to go to the sell point. I will do the same with this tractor. I think now we will we'll take over the combine, I think. So Sloth, as always, my weekends went by exceptionally fast for doing very little. I never feel like there's enough time to do nothing sometimes. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was nice to relax and not have to worry about too many things. Did a bit of housework, you know, the usual stuff that adults have to do. How about yourself? How's your weekend been? How's everyone else's weekend been? So Happy, to answer that question about are we just doing corn, are we doing something else? I want to get the corn done, that's definitely a priority. I want to use the excess that we get from the contracts for a production point, so I do need as much of that as possible because we don't get a great amount at the end realistically. I do need to make a close eye on that when we come towards the back end of the contract, so I don't dump too much into the sell point. But I do hope to do a few other things as well. I've got a small bank balance now of 280,000-ish because I want to buy a field that's 260,000. So we have a lot of stuff that we can sell, so I'd like to do a bit of selling as well. So we need to go and navigate that, work out what and where we're going to sell. So I'm hoping to get that done as well. And then we'll see, there might be some other contracts that pop up. We don't really have any of our own farmland that needs doing. The farm currently in October is quite low maintenance. Well, with any luck, Sloth, if you've got your new PSU power supply all hooked up, you should be back online in no time. And then at some point, you never know, you might be able to get yourself on a live stream with me and you can help me out. You can be the carting boy. So Happy, have you, since the last live stream, and I appreciate that wasn't that long ago realistically, have you thought about doing any playing of Farm Sim as opposed to just watching it, or are you still just time permitting only watching at the minute? That's the other thing as well, when I said we'll maybe do up to 9 PM or potentially even just an hour of 8 PM. We're half an hour in already and it feels like 5 minutes. I don't feel like we've spent half an hour on the live stream. So I suspect we will definitely be here till 9 PM with relative ease. And with any luck, not just doing corn. Oh, I think I've just realised why I'm hearing myself in the headset. I've got my YouTube page open, haven't I? So I'm probably hearing what you're hearing, which is the actual live stream. Well, that's good to hear, Happy. Have you thought about what your first map's going to be? I mean, if you're on PC, I would certainly recommend Saxlingham. Or any UK based map, to be honest. I can't get enough of the UK maps. And if you're on console, Saxlingham is in testing again, and it's highly likely that at some point it will pass that testing stage. It might not be this time around. It failed the first one, it might fail the second one, but it's certainly on fast track to being on console in the near future. And Sloth, I'm not entirely certain how you're having an issue with FS3 mod assistant, but if you like, we will get our heads together and I'll get that sorted for you if you don't mind the help. Oh, well, that's good to hear. I'm happy. I think this is a cracking map to start on. Not too big, not too small. It's got a mix of big and small fields as well, so you can start off with very small starting equipment and work your way up, or you could start with a huge amount of equipment and just start doing big harvests. If I recall correctly, your starting equipment on a new farmer isn't too shabby either. It's quite reasonable. So again, it depends on how much of a gameplay style you've got and how much of an easy life you want. Yeah, Sloth, if you've got your PSU sorted, we'll get that sorted fairly quickly. That shouldn't be too difficult, I imagine. Now, I know the other thing as well with the chat, when we were setting this up, I put a 60-second timer on it disappearing off the screen, on the assumption that it might be overflowing on the chat screen. It doesn't seem like that's happening, which is not a bad thing. Is 60 seconds long enough for people to read what needs to be read? I assume it is. Do we need longer? Do we need less time? Yeah, happy you're not missing much if you start with the starting equipment and stuff like that. You get a fair bit of farmland, you get a fair bit of equipment, so I think you do quite well with that, and then just ease yourself into the map, ease yourself into the game. Right, okay, Sloth, I'll increase the... I might just put it on indefinitely so it just scrolls up progressively bit by bit. And then obviously it'll come off at, I haven't, you know what I didn't do, Sloth? I've put a crash counter in. There's one. Keep score. But yeah, I'll set this chat just to be a permanent scroll. I think that's the way of doing that one. Right, you're right, that is a bit odd that the new sub options aren't working, because the boxes are all set up, so the subscribe in the top right corner there does appear. It just doesn't seem to be linked somehow. The last message I've got on the Streamlabs for the recent event says Sloth Squad Gaming's received a shout out. That's all it's put up there. And I'll be honest, I wasn't even at the PC when that happened, so I missed that one myself. Right, well, I've got a funny feeling that actually this field can be done with 2 trailer loads. I don't think we're going to get a 3rd trailer out of this one. I could be wrong, because one of my trailers is quite small, and I'm not sure if it's the one that's just gone off or if it's the next one that's going to be filled up, which is a small trailer. Well, at least the rules and auto messages are coming through nicely now. Can't quite remember how we set them up, Sloth. Was that every 20 minutes? I'm sure that's twice that one's appeared now. I mean, Sloth, I'll do anything to get more subscribers, so, you know, create a few more channels and add them up. I'm trying desperately to get to 500 subscribers. I'm not too far away. I was 484 before we started the stream. So, yes, I'm hoping in the not too distant future I'll get to 500. I do like a nice round number. I've also done things a little bit differently on this series for this week. I didn't have a great deal of time at the weekend whilst doing nothing, ironically. So, hence the live stream today. And I appreciate it's a weekday, so it's probably not as popular on a weekday as it would be on a weekend. And time-wise, a weekend is definitely more agreeable to my schedule. But I thought I'd do this because I wanted to do two things. First, I wanted to try and get a few episodes ahead on my recording schedule, just to give me a bit of leeway on doing things, but also because I hold myself back from playing the map if I'm not recording. So I want to play the map a bit more. And secondly, it makes the live streams quite difficult. That if I'm 2, 3, 4 episodes ahead on recording, it's a lot harder to then hop a live stream in, which is going to be arguably a few months potentially ahead of where the recordings are. So what I've done, I've actually recorded Friday's episode already before doing this episode, even though this one's coming out live. But the way I've done it, I have essentially modified the XML to change the time. Instead of it being 8 in the morning now, which it is for us, I moved it to 1 PM on October, and I'm expecting certainly not to be here for 5 hours on a live stream. So I'm going to do it so that, in theory, this is consecutively in the recording side of things going to be appearing that this is before the next episode, but I've actually already recorded that one. Nice to see you again, Oliver, and Sarah and Neil. Hope you're all doing quite well. And yes, Oliver, I did see that you'd logged into Farm Sim recently after a hiatus. So it was nice seeing that you're playing the game again. And yeah, the Scottish map does look like a good one to fully get back involved in the game. Certainly looking forward to that in a couple of months' time. I'm not entirely certain what the Mercedes pack is going to be like, which comes out tomorrow. So happy, just ironically, you had the same thought as me when I'm saying about that. I will certainly give it a try. That's certainly for sure. I am certain there will be certain things in that pack that I will like, enjoy and utilise. I know the Nexus pack and the Plains and Prairies edition, they weren't for me. They're big American styled equipment, and that's not my game style, so they had no functional value. But I do think the Mercedes pack might have a few things there that would be useful. And Sloth, the Scottish map, is coming out on the 4th of November, I believe it is. And if that goes to Giant's plan, I imagine that's a Tuesday. Or it could be a Thursday, that one, actually. You know, the weird thing is, with the job that I do, I should really know what day the 5th of November is. And I don't. I didn't mean to dumping that trailer. So there's now 2 crashes there, it's what to be counting. Yeah, I am not sure what day 4th of November is. Can someone check for me maybe? I've got my hands full. Right, so there's 2 trailers already gone. If I'm exceptionally lucky, I can get the rest of this field done in the combine's storage, dump it into the larger trailer, and then manually take it to the sell point so I can control how much we put into the sell point. Oh, so it is a Tuesday, okay. Which then makes the 5th of November the Wednesday. Oh, that's good to hear as well, Sarah. I mean, hopefully Oliver's looking forward to playing as well in new content, but yeah, it's nice having an official UK map from Giants. Although I'm still sceptical that they will do it any justice compared to the modders. The amount of high quality modded UK based maps, I think Giants will struggle to compete against that. Although I do have my suspicions that Oxy's been involved in the actual Scottish map. Can't waste any corn here. So I think once we get this field done, I'm going to take the combine across the second field where the other combine's already waiting. We'll put both the combines to work. And then we will do a different task, and we might let AutoDrive and Courseplay do the heavy lifting on the corn. Now the other thing I'm not entirely certain on how to go around it is the downside to live streaming to recordings is there's no time lapses, so you literally are watching this live. The other downside of that is there's no music either, and I was very much looking at could I use any of the recording tracks that I use on my recordings, so the music tracks on my recordings, and set them so I could just play them as we're doing this, to almost simulate what I would do on a recording. But then I wasn't quite sure how that goes with a live stream. I appreciate they get through the recording stage quite comfortably, but it might be different for a live stream. I'm not quite sure. Don't really know how that works. Right, so that's that field done. Like I said, when you get this unloaded, I'll take the tractor off AutoDrive so it doesn't self-drive to the destination. The downside with these headers, they are quite large, so we're going to have to navigate that too. I've got a funny feeling I put that header trail in a really bad place for my own crop, which is that field, and I think that might be at a stage where I can do crop damage. So happy, I'm quite mixed on the fishing side of things. I think it's an interesting concept. I'm partially disappointed that you just get the initial payment for every fish you catch. I kind of had hoped it was a little bit more like where you would catch a stock of fish and then you could take them to a production point and use them to then facilitate further production development. But it doesn't look like that's what's going to happen. But at the same time, I also like the fact that they made it a bit of a game. So, I don't know. I'm mixed on it. I think we're going to have to wait and see until the map drops as to how it works. But what they have confirmed, you'll be able to do fishing on any map. Certainly any Giants map, but I get the impression you can do that on pretty much any map with a body of water. So the likes of this map here with the river. You could probably do it. Right, now, I think we have to use AutoDrive. I can't quite remember how you get to the field 35, which is where I think the next contract is. Right, we'll let that attempt to navigate itself to the field. And yeah, happy, I agree, it is nice to have a few things that are different. A bit of variety. I know there's a lot of people who are not entirely happy with the in FS22 when the what was it called? It was Creative Mesh, I think, who created it, but it was the fire engine stuff where you could put fires out, you could go to road traffic collisions, those kind of things. And people were saying, well, what's that got to do with Farming Simulator? And they were really quite vocal against it. Ironically, firefighting and farming do go a little bit hand in hand. You do get field satellite, you get bale satellite. So there is a lot of things where farming and firefighting becomes combined. And in rural areas, and I live in a rural area myself, there's a lot of farmers who will volunteer to become firefighters. So when there's a fire call, they turn up at the fire station and respond to those emergencies. Right, so we've got an excess of just shy of 6,000 litres of corn, which is fantastic. I am going to take that to where we need it. Whilst technically I could use it for the next contract, I'm not going to. We'll use this for what I want to do, and then we'll take the next bit. And yeah, happy, I agree, yeah, logging is another example of it's not truly a farming activity realistically. Whilst again, potentially some farmers may do an element of that, it's not a co-activity. So going back to your route statement, it's just nice having a few different things to do. I've been chuckling a few times myself in the real world. On the game here, we're only doing about 33 mile an hour, and a few of the tractors I've got do 26 mile an hour, and it feels quite fast. remarkably fast sometimes for what they are. And I've been following a few tractors on the roads lately, because they're getting their harvest done now, and it's amazing how slow 26 miles an hour is when you're behind a tractor. And the worst part is, in the vehicle that I drive, I have no excuse not to overtake them. I have the power and oomph to be able to overtake a tractor with ease. And the times that I've just wanted to sit behind it and not do that, I'm sure the other road users don't appreciate me for that, but I have no incentive to overtake the tractors. And I'm quite impressed and happy that for the vast majority of the farmers up here, John Deere is not a popular make. New Holland and the Deutz brand, they are the ones that seem to be quite popular up here. The John Deeres, weirdly, are very popular with our council, except for things like grass cutting. Right, so again, if you weren't familiar with the other live stream and recordings, I have these vehicles on an AutoDrive loop for the sugar and potatoes. I have worked out that we have excess potatoes. We have about 1.4 million litres of potatoes, and we probably only need 650,000 litres before the next harvest period for potatoes. Once we plant and then grow and harvest them again, we can get rid of half that stock quite comfortably. Right, we'll set that off to field 35. We will take this off to field 35 too. So again, I can see the viewing figures going up, which is fantastic. So if you haven't made a comment, I don't know who you are, thank you very much for joining and watching. As always, with everything, whether it be a live stream or a recording or anything in general, your comments and feedback would be very much appreciated in terms of how to shape and develop each series that I do. So if there are things you'd like me doing, if you let me know, I'll continue doing them. But more importantly, and I know it's a weird one, I've seen a few people where they'll watch a recording and then I'll lose a subscriber, and I'm okay with that, but the thing for me is, what I struggle with is, why? What was it that you didn't really like? What is it that was the kind of, it's not for me? Because if I'm doing something that you don't like, that's perfectly fine, but I can't change it if I don't know what it is that's caused that kind of disruption to your viewing pleasure. So all I would say is, if it's even remotely possible, just a bit of feedback really helps. I'm hoping this is the field that we're going to. I'm not overly familiar with this side of the map. I haven't been down here this much. It certainly looks like it with the combine ahead of me. Yes, okay, so I think we have managed to get to the right field. So we will steal someone else's field to park our stuff in, which is maybe not the best way of doing things, but I'm hoping that's a harvest-dead crop. It is, it's with the potatoes, so I don't feel quite as bad now. Now, admittedly, I do appreciate that my top left corner, the HUD display for that part is slightly covered by the OBS overlay. But I'm assuming you're not losing a great deal. I think it's literally just control group is what you're missing. And I'll be honest, I do tend to hide that quite often anyway, so no big loss, I don't believe. Right, now I know Sloth mentioned he's gone for a brew. I made a brew before I started this. It's literally sitting here with a full cup. I haven't even had time to have a sip. So I think that's what I need to, once I get this going. Do that before it goes too cold. Right, so if I've done this right, I should be able to copy this course. I think it's difficult happy sometimes. I think you're right. I think some people don't have that level of respect for people. I think society as a whole, we take a lot of things for granted. We have an expectation of things. When there are a lot of people who are creating things here in their own time, some might be doing it as a business, and therefore, you know, it's an earning income, and therefore maybe they should be looking for the consumer to make sure they get best value out of it. But yeah, there's a lot of people who don't consider that sometimes just a small amount of comments can make a major difference in helping improve things as opposed to just disengaging altogether. That said, I know that, and again, I feel this week I've maybe done a lot of things where it's been quite notification heavy. I know my live stream popped up the other day to say that we're doing this, and then I put a short up and that popped up, and I did a few things that all within about 15, half an hour part of each other started appearing on Imagine people's notifications. And I know that that can potentially be quite frustrating and annoying if you're not wanting that many notifications all the time. But at the same time, they do serve a purpose. So it's a difficult one. You don't want to do too much, but you also don't want to not do enough that helps benefit the people who want to view and for you to promote your channel. Right, now with any luck, they should do what they need to do on their own. Did I set these to self-unload? Because I need these to self-unload. Yep, that one self-unloads. I'm assuming that means the other one will also self-unload. Or you can tell that Courseplay and AutoDrive are working heavily. My computer gets a little bit laggy when too many workers are working. And I must admit that's a new thing with the FS25 Courseplay. Courseplay was not like that on FS22. Right, so field 35. I'm assuming it's the farmer's market we're going to again. It certainly looks like it. Now why is there a combine stuck over there? I was hoping that AutoDrive and Courseplay would manage all this. Okay, it's full, so it's not self-unloading. Is this one set to self-unload? It is. Okay, right. I guess we're going to have to unload the first one. The Courseplay route might be not picking up the AutoDrive route here. It's a bit of a shame. I'm glad that you're back with your brew. I still have not had a sip of my brew there, Sloth, so I'm going to have to do that. I was saying when you were aware that I'm getting a cold brew here. Well, shit, it's a very nice pleasure to see you again. Always nice seeing you hop into the stream. I have got a confession though, Welsh. I don't know where you're up to with your channel videos. I've become a bit delayed with my watching time. I've got a few things to catch up on. I've only just managed to catch up on one of Farmer Sims' videos today, which arguably I watched while I was at work. So, you know, I can multitask, kind of. At least that's what I'm telling the boss anyway. So Welsh, what do you think of my webcam? First time you got to see me. Oh, Sloth, I didn't catch that one. That's not a crash counter. We're still only 2. Right, let's see if I can get out. I don't feel quite as bad now, Welsh. I think it's maybe you haven't put something out as opposed to me missing it, which is a bit better. Oh, and Sloth, brew update. My brew's ice cold, so I need to make another one. Which is not a bad thing, because I have something to show you all on that basis. Why is that combine not moving? This was meant to be the automatic field. This was meant to be the field that just did it all itself. I have no idea why that's not moving. How very weird. Right, okay. We're not going to worry about that. If I leave that in the field, the combine should go and self-unload into that one. So I'm going to do that for now. And you're right, there is absolutely nothing right with a cold brew. So, we're going to have to keep an eye on the harvesters being full or the trailer being full. I need to work out and remember where I put my trailer. I think it's at the other farm. Strictly speaking, we do need a tip trailer for some of this work. I need to unload the potatoes. Yeah, happy iced tea is only nice when it's done correctly, and this tea was not done for iced tea. This tea was done for, well, it's not even tea, it's coffee. Yes, Oliver, it definitely was coffee and not cherry hot chocolate. I think I've actually run out of the cherry hot chocolate, so I don't have any of that anymore. Right, so where are we? Here we go. So I don't actually know what we need with a pallet trailer as to what to sell. So if we sell everything at the best month, we have 3 million in sales. If we sell everything right now, we have 2.2 million. So there are a few things that we're not going to be selling. Briquettes for one. It's only half their value currently, so it's not really worth selling that now. We potentially could sell a bit of the canola. We're not going to take too much of a loss on that one. We could definitely sell the goat milk. I think that's what we're going to be doing for sure. Like I said, the potatoes, we're definitely going to be doing that today. We don't need 1.4 million litres, so we'll get rid of some of that. We're not going to do the sawdust, whilst I would like to get rid of some of the sawdust because the storage is filling up very, very rapidly. It's not worth doing that yet. We could sell the crisps. I think we're not going to take much of a hit on them, so I think we could definitely do... Well, we could definitely do the very salted ones. Spicy ones, maybe not. We could do the ketchup ones as well, I think. Yeah, so we have a few things that can be sold, which is positive. I didn't check how much sugar beet we need. We could potentially sell half of that as well. Right, so get back down to the main farm, get the I say the main farm, where are we going? Oh, the goat milk. We're going to get the goat milk from the main farm. Welsh, I am probably not, if I'm honest. It's a little bit out of my neck of the woods of region, so it's just a tad too far. For those who don't know, as one of my friends likes to call it, I drive a milk float. I've got a fully electric car. And it's one of the old gen kind of electric cars, so it's well before the modern techs of having a high range and rapid charging side of things. It does rapid charge, it can only just do 2 rapid charges per long journey, so it does kind of limit where I go. However, I don't tend to venture very far, so it does me quite well. It just won't probably get me down to Lama, and I'm not a big fan of public transport. Is the short end of alternative options. I have a bit of a control need. I like to drive because I'm in control then. Turtle, yes, the potato crisps are my mod. It's the one that I put out there. Weirdly, or remarkably, I'm quite a little bit disappointed that that mod is not doing very well. It's not as popular as I thought it would be. Right, now I don't know if I have an auto load trailer. I don't think I do, which is quite unusual for me. Oh no, it does seem to have some kind of auto load on it. How do we get the auto load to work? I'm not really sure how this shift. Oh, it looks like. There we go. I wouldn't say that's the best way of loading it, but okay. topple this over. That wouldn't look good. I don't want Sloth to add more to the crash counter. It's not picking that last one up though. Oh, there it is. Right, okay. I might have to adjust the boundary of that. It looks like it's overhanging. Oh, Welsh, I am looking forward to seeing you use that mod. Yeah, I think it is the universal auto load. I think we're going to have to drive a bit gingerly here because I think I might be quite unbalanced. This would not be road legal if we were in the real world. So we're going to have to take these corners quite sheepishly. See, I mean, Turtle, I am an advocate of electric cars, okay? There's very little I feel people have a reason against them. So I would be interested to know what your reasons would be against them. But a lot of people have reasons why they wouldn't use or have an electric car that it doesn't take much to mitigate those reasons quite comfortably. People used to spending 5 minutes at a petrol station filling up with petrol. It is one of the common, it takes too long to charge them up. I spend 30 seconds plugging my vehicle in when I park up at home before I go to bed. That's it. It takes no effort at all. And on a long journey, let's say if I was going to Birmingham and had to charge a few times, it's 25-30 minutes to charge up on a rapid charge point, and for most people you're going to have at least one toilet stop where by the time you park up, go into the venue, go to the bathroom, come back out, possibly get a coffee while you're in there, that 25 minutes is gone straight away. So you're not hanging around idle waiting for them. And yes, happy my driving is exceptional. Right, so here's our potato crisps, or at least some of them. I said we weren't going to sell the spicy ones, however, I can't be tuned to filter them out, so I think we're just going to sell whatever comes on them. Yeah, that auto load trailer needs some. That's not right. Come on. I mean, the other mistake is I haven't really left me any route to get out of here. Not liking that, is it? This doesn't count as crashing Sloth. Just saying that now. Right, if anyone asks, that's totally road legal. And Sloth, the cars are not crap. Right, farmers market for that. Where were we selling the goat's milk? Animal dealer, and I have no idea where the animal dealer is. So we'll tag the animal dealer, but we'll head to the farmers market with the crisps. I think Welsh, I do need to maybe get something on my stream set up where I can do skill issue with an audio sound. But in my defence, this is the default auto load, universal auto load. I have not set the auto load on the trailer. bigger worry is that the goat's milk can be accepted at the farmer's market and we sell everything when we get there. If we do, we do. And then we're going to have to check in on our harvest because there's something that's blocked by an object which is highly useful. All I will say, Turtle, in defence of combustion engine vehicles, I have driven from Newcastle to Bournemouth at the other end of the country. It was a 7.5 hour drive and I did that in one leg non-stop. So you're right, in an electric car I could not achieve that. I mean, I also certainly wouldn't recommend it either. It was doable. Was it advisable? Probably not. Right, now the bigger problem is I don't think it's obviously not the grain sell point, so it's going to be this sell point here, isn't it? Or it could be this one in here. Let's try this one first. Not bad. £39,000 for that. I'll take that. And it didn't take the milk off me. Even better. Oh. Yeah, doesn't like that at all. Right, Sloth, I will look at that and I will implement that for the next live stream. Right, so our animal dealer is 8,000 feet away. Let's see if I can try and find that. Actually, before we do, let's go and sort out our combines. So you're not blocked. I mean, that doesn't look like a cornfield to me, does it? How that ended up there, I have no idea. Right, where is... I'm going to assume that's where it should be. Oh, I know why it was off the road. It was going to go and unload, wasn't it? And yes, Turtle, I think Sloth was driving this combine. We'll certainly blame him, eh? Hello Benny, it's nice seeing you on here again. Nice to have you watching. Hope you're doing well and life is treating you fine. Oh, okay, we've crashed in that tractor as well. That counts as one crash, so that's 3 crashes now, Sloth. I mean, to be honest, that crash would have written off both the combine header and the tractor there. On the plus side to the game. So we haven't done that. Well, exactly, yeah, Welsh. Okay, 4. Let's put that down as a 4th crash. Yeah, I'd set these to self-unload, and they are clearly, that tractor's on the field. So that should self-unload, no question about it. I mean, I certainly need to figure out how to do shorts on my crashes. I think that would get the views up, wouldn't it? So, Sloth, is now the right time to tell you that I wear glasses. Get that one done. We'll, yeah, clearly that one's not self-unloading either. I mean, Turtle, I'm not that bad. I don't think I've got 10 minutes worth of crashes yet. Don't you start as well, Oliver? And I am using the word Oliver quite loosely there, because I think it'll be Sarah to making these comments. It'd be unfair to blame Oliver on that. I mean, I could make it a series, couldn't I, Happy? If that's it, that's how we're going to title it, I could certainly make a series out of it. I'd have to get guest appearances from the likes of, say, Sloth, who would have much more crashing content than I would have. I mean, Turtle, when I first read that, because my boom mic is literally just covering a little bit of the chat box initially, so I thought that said cat litter, and I was wondering why you've got cat litter on your knee. Right, so that's that bit done. Let's get the tractor that's full. Off to the appropriate place. That should be easy enough to do. There we go. I'm going to move this on the field with the hopes that it might self-unload it, the remaining part into here. Right, now I'm going to do one thing because I want to test it out a little bit, but also because I literally have ice cold coffee now, and I very much do need a coffee. So, like all good prepped YouTubers, I have a coffee break screen. So if you give me 2 minutes to go and boil a kettle and put some fresh hot water in, I will see you very, very soon. Right, that didn't take too long, hopefully. And hopefully you're all still here. So I have hopefully turned my own audio off so I don't hear myself on my headset now, so I can hear the game. I've come back to the combine, it's not doing stuff. Ideal. So I'm trying to play a bit of catch up on the chat because on my OBS you've talked a fair bit that I can't see. So I've had a bit of a quick sweep up. I mean, on the plus side, Turtle, I haven't fallen asleep on my own live streams yet. That's a positive. I'm going to take that for a win. And it certainly looks like auto unloading of the combines is not working. I mean, happy it's a hard life being a virtual farmer these days. Right, now do I need to go down here? Or do I go down the next one? I think we'll go down the next one. So, Turtle, when's your next live stream going to be then? And how long do you normally record for before you fall asleep? And I'll join at that point. I mean, don't get me wrong, my live stream's not been that lengthy, but I just don't understand how you can fall asleep during a live stream. I'm just not entirely certain how that works. And I also suspect I've gone to the wrong part of the map for the animal dealer. I mean, if nothing else for everyone who's watching this, this map is just spectacular. I can't fault it. I mean, a few more signposts telling me where things are might help, but I think that's a skill issue on my part again. Turtle, it sounds like not only do you need to set up your OBS, you need to set an alarm clock as well for every half hour. I mean, that's certainly a skill there, Welsh. I mean, as you can tell with my driving skill there, trying to read what you're telling me while I'm driving, I'm barely managed to keep this on the road so far. Right, so just for interest in a sloth. Right, is it... So there is game sound, it's just low. Is that because I'm in cab view, maybe? If I come out, what's that sound? So that, right, so if I go back in the cab view, so when I'm back in here, is this too quiet again? Oh, there we go. Again, I'm focusing on the chat. Right, so what's it like while I'm in cab? Is it still loud enough? Or is the cab view just too quiet? Right, there's 43,000 of milk sold. Yeah, I do wonder with sloths sometimes whether it's more of a him issue than an actual streaming issue. It does take a few other people to tell me and confirm whether it's a him issue or a me issue. Right, so I'm going to send this back to the main farm. Really? Yes, there was another crash there. Welsh, you did see that correctly. What's that now? 5? I mean, to be fair, my game audio should be okay. As far as I can tell, it should be 100%. Settings. Where is the audio? Yeah, so it's 100% there. I get that the vehicle's a little bit lower, but I can knock it up slightly. Good evening, FS Farm. Nice to see you.
You're awesome!
Also very nice to see that you've subscribed to the channel. Oh, speaking of, it worked. So, Sloth, don't know what's going on with you, but look, FS Farmer just subscribed. Fantastic. So, don't know what's wrong with your accounts as to why yours weren't showing up. Yeah, I think Welsh and Turtle, based on your comments, I believe that it is a sloth issue, not an audio issue on my end. And I'm sticking with that. My sub thing was working before, I believe. I think you're just the one that wasn't working for you. I don't know. I mean, FS Farm, this map's incredible. I can't fault it at all. Any faults with this map are not the map, it's with me. And as my fellow friends here will say, it's a skill issue. Right, now this was not the plan to do this field as actively as we are doing it. I had hoped to put this quite automatic and get some selling done, so it's a bit of a shame. Yeah, Turtle, I think that's the positive with I think with farm sim in general. There's no right way and no wrong way to do something. There's so much variety on what you can do that there's plenty of options, and that means that for a viewing point of view, you can pick and choose who you watch for the style of gameplay that you like. Now, I know that I do a series with Farmer Scythe, a cooperative series currently, and we've previously done a competitive series, and arguably speaking, we are up to episode 41 on Hutan Pantai, and we've barely bought more than 2 fields. It's a very slow paced series. A little bit too slow paced for me, however, it's also nice just playing a game. So there's an essence to that, whereas there are other YouTubers where they'll pretty much buy out the entire farmland almost outright. So it's whatever works for them and how it works for them. Right, so I'm going to send this back to the sell point. And we are going to steal this tractor now and sell some of our own stuff. Mainly potatoes. Now, the caveat to me doing a lot of cab viewing, which I do want to try and get used to cab view, my FPS drops quite drastically when Courseplay is heavily in use with in-cab view for some reason. Again, it's an FS25 issue with Courseplay. 22 never had this problem. I'm not sure what film that is, Happy. I haven't seen that film. Yeah, and yeah, FS Farmer, this map is absolutely beautiful. I know it's based on kind of a real location, and I am not that close to Norfolk to be able to ever experience this in the real world, which is somewhat disappointing to some extent, because it'd be nice to see how accurate it is, because both Oxy and Briscoe do a really good job at getting the detail right. I mean, look at Oak Ridge and how people went to visit the location for the fact that it's so realistic to the map. So what's that? One YouTuber turned a shed into a cow barn. Oh, well, Turtle, I know exactly who you're talking about there. Arguably, that's a relatively easy skill to achieve in Giant Editor if you know what you're doing. As is many things when you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, it's exceptionally difficult. Oh, look at me! I'm paying attention to the chat again. I need to focus where I put my chat window next time. It's clearly on the wrong side of my second monitor. I can't see my driving and the chat window at the same time. So boys and girls, text driving is not for you. Not for me either. This map is Saxlingham, George, if that's what you're asking. If it's not, I'm not sure which map we're talking about. Trying to pay attention to a bit of the chat and focus on the driving, so I'm missing a few bits of the chat occasionally. So Sloth, I'm sure you can keep an eye on things and catch me up if I'm missing anything. Yeah, I mean, like I say, it depends on the experience with Giant Editor. Some things are easy, some things are difficult, some things appear to be difficult, and then when you figure it out, it's quite a simple fix, but it's taking you a day or two to figure it out. If you ask Rob or myself, I guess, when we've been doing things, we've spent a good day or two working something out, we figured it out and then thought that was 5 minutes worth of effort if we'd known straight away what the issue was. Hi Craig, nice to see you again. Pleasure having you here. Yes, my family is well. My parents are too well at the minute because they've been on holiday for 16 days. They're flying back now. It's all in, it's about a 24-hour travel time from getting to or leaving their destination to getting back to their home. The flights aren't as long as that, but obviously with the connections, the delays, the waiting between connections, it's 24 hours all in. Right, potatoes. Let's get some of them sold. I don't even know where we sell these potatoes at. Where's the best place? Oh, back at the farmer's market. Oh, we're going there quite a lot. Right, I'm going to ship this on AutoDrive back to the farmer's market because I want to read that chat. There's two very long chats there that I'm going to have to go onto YouTube to read now, which is not a bad thing. So FS Farmer, you have to help me out a bit more with that. I don't know what raiding really is and how to do it, or how to help other people out, or how to benefit from that myself. So yeah, so happy to let you do whatever you think benefits you. George, you know how to make this driving experience more realistic. Yeah, I suppose I could reduce my steering sensitivity, but I'll be honest, I only need that while I'm driving, while I'm reading the text on the screen here. So I can imagine that when I'm not doing my live streams, it'll be too slow a reaction and I won't quite know what to do. Sloth, I'm not entirely certain because I'm sure I've seen people do raids on YouTube. I've certainly seen people comment on it when you've been watching a live stream and someone said, I've just sent my viewers to you. So I'm guessing it's a YouTube thing as well. I'll be honest, I'm about a year and a half into doing recording, so I only figured out how to do short yesterday, so, you know, it's taken me that long to get around to doing a short for me channel. So George, on this series, I'm doing a bit of a mix of everything to some extent. I am focusing on crops that will let me produce oil and sugar beet and potatoes. They're the primary crops because I have some custom modded productions that I've made that benefit from those types of crops. So I've got a potato chip factory or potato crisp factory, depending which part of the world you're in, and I have in development an oil mill or an oil production point which also produces diesel from the oil that you're making. So the whole idea, I'm doing a series on this map anyway, and I thought while I'm here I'll test these mods development and use this as a platform for that. Right, so potatoes. Yeah, a sloth. I mean, the biggest thing I've worked out with shorts, not all my videos are eligible to be made into shorts. So whilst I don't have a copyright strike, there are certain bits of music that I can use with what's the word? It's not accreditation, but it's you've got to like reference them in your description, and even though that's not a copyright strike, it does prevent me from using them in any other video in a YouTube short. So I might only have a 30-second clip of music, but that will then prevent the entire video from being used, which is a bit of a... I hadn't quite realised that, so I now need to be a lot more cautious with my music choices, I think is the key part here. In Welsh, I had planned to stream till about 9 o'clock, so about another 15 minutes. I mean, sloth, I'll have to have a look at that if I'm honest. The music's one of my biggest hindrances at the minute, and I am looking at options where I can pay like a monthly fee for like a music subscription that allows me to use the music quite relaxed on my videos, because I think that's going to pay off in the long run eventually. Welsh, I know you use a lot of different music in your videos to what I've had access to, and I don't know if that's just because you've got a different set of websites that you utilise, or whether maybe you, if you don't mind sharing, if you pay for a subscription or what, but I know that you've got a lot of more varied choice than I seem to have. I focus quite heavily on the YouTube studio music, which is quite limited. Craig, appreciate that comment around my video with Mr. Scythe. I always have a fun time farming with him. So George, when you get the game, I think you'll really enjoy it. I don't know if you've ever played FS22. It's not too dissimilar from that game, and I know there's been a lot of critique with Giants for that, but there's a lot of things that are different, and it just has that, it does have a bit more realistic feel to it. Tyre wear, arguably it's a mod. There's no two ways around that one. The tyre wear is a mod, and I think that works really well. I let the tyres get bald in one of my episodes, and you could absolutely tell that the grip was gone. You were skidding all over the place. It was almost like you were driving in snow. Fuel consumption it's not too bad, to be fair, on normal. I don't feel like I ever struggle on that, and I'll be honest, I don't really use the heavy fuel consumption. Maybe I should, but I don't. Oh crap, almost overran that one. In centre of gravity, again, I'll be honest, for the most part my trailers tend to unbalance themselves down to my pure loading of the trailers, which you saw with the goat's milk and potato crisps. Yeah, so I think, well, from my point of view at the minute, my channel, and I imagine yours is very similar at the minute, it's not... I get no earnings from the channel, so I tend to do what I can at no cost on that basis. Once I start earning something, I'll start putting money, whatever money I earn, I'm going to start putting back into the channel. It's as simple as that. But I think I've learned that music is one of those things where investing early, investing now, is going to be in the long run worthwhile. So yeah, I'm certainly looking at that. Cheers, FS Farmer. Appreciate you joining. It's been a pleasure seeing you here, and nice to see that you subscribed and tick that little bell. Always things that will help me out. So yeah, so really nice seeing you here. So George, this map is a single player. It's not a server, just a single player game. The map that I play with Farmer Scythe, with Robert Scythe, is a self-hosted multiplayer map. So I host the map on my PC, and he joins that. The cooperative one, I believe, sorry, not the cooperative, the competitive one we had on FS22, he hosted, and I joined that one. And the reason why I did the hosting this time is because I got lag on his, and he gets a little bit of lag on this one, so it's kind of tit for tat, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to read this. Yeah, well, like I said, I think it's one of those things where I need to invest into an FS Farmer. Yeah, I use a PS5 controller, and yeah, I've keyboard, mouse and controls. It's sometimes hard to navigate all at the same time. But yeah, the game needs all options, I think. Yeah, I'm quite lucky Welsh in the fact that the logos that I've got so far, whilst they're not animated, they're all self-created. So even the overlay here, it's all self-created. So I don't tend to struggle too much with that. The animation side I do, but the actual static stuff I'm fairly, I don't even think so, quite competent at that. Well, we all know what Sloth's like behind the old school sheds there, Turtle. Thanks for stopping by, George. It was a pleasure. Enjoy playing on FS22 and hope to see you very soon. I think Welsh, my hardest part is going to be modelling. So like I said, I'm trying to create mods, but I don't have any modelling experience. And that's where I'm going to struggle, I think. I mean, the modding side is going to be very, very loosely involved. I'm not going to be heavily involved in that. But I do like tweaking things to my advantage. That's the advantage, not like an unfair advantage, whereas in just making things fit for my gameplay and my gameplay style. Like I said, things like adding the logos to the tractors. Up there, and obviously when you're in the cab, it flips. Yeah. Oh, Craig, hopefully for nothing too serious, so arguably, I don't know when you go to court whether it's for anything not serious, but hopefully whatever you're going through with that is works out in your favour. I must say as well, and I appreciate that FS Farm is probably not on the stream now, but we're talking about PS4 controllers, mice, keyboards, etc. I've also got a farm stick, and I very, very seldom use the farm stick because the controller, because I'm so much used to being a console gamer, that I don't have a spare hand for the farm stick, so it just sits there on my desk. It doesn't really get used. Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of the things in playing the game is easy. I think really it's easy playing the game. Doing YouTube to some extent is easy, but doing all the setup to get things just how you want it, just where you want it, just for what you need, and having to tweak things in Giants Editor or tweaking a mod on the XML, they're the bits that are hard. They're the bits that take the time, and you just don't have the time. Sometimes you just want to get in, sit down, turn the computer on, and play the game. And that's the hard bit, but it's certainly worth the investment of time if you can just get round to focusing on that. And yeah, Welsh, I agree. I think for Farm Stick, it comes into its own if you have a steering wheel and pedals. And I think genuinely, if I was using a steering wheel and pedals, it would be a lot easier to bring the Farm Stick into its own. Right, I think what we're going to do for the stream, I am going to get another load of potatoes, take them down to the sell point, and that's pretty much where we're going to maybe leave the live stream for tonight. I have got planned to purchase another field, which is why I want this level of income being stockpiled. If I just fill this up now, the field I'm hoping to get is field 9 here, just over the road from the new farm that we've got, and it is £261,000 to purchase, so that we have enough money in the bank now, thankfully, but that's the aim. Right, so send this back down. Clearly at 20,000 litres a pop, it's going to take a lot of return journeys to and from to get all these potatoes sold. Again, it's going to be a perfect setup for an AutoDrive route for one of my future episodes on the series. Yeah, so looking at it, it's 4 minutes to 9, and it's a 3-minute journey to the sell point. I think that will really perfectly time the ending of the live stream. So, just for the few remaining minutes then, I'm going to utilise this not to actually game, but to read the chat and answer any questions, queries, or whatever you might have before we end. I bet he didn't tell you, Turtle, though, I'm the one who split that logo in half for you when you had the trailer doors opening. Right, so for me, Turtle, this channel isn't about making money. So I know there's a lot of YouTubers who do this quite professionally and get a lot of money from it, and that's fantastic. And if I ever got to a stage where I'm earning money from the channel, fantastic. But that wasn't my motivation. Main motivation behind it is it was the incentive to play the game. So when I'm making the videos, it just gave me a drive of what to try and do something. So instead of just playing a game, getting a bit bored and putting it down, by doing this it kind of motivates me to try something different, to try something new, to try and make something hopefully watchable and the things that people want to take part in. Another big part of it was the multiplayer side of things. So we did a Victor live with Robert Scythe and a few other like members of his channel, and I enjoyed that. Obviously, we then did the competitive. I'm doing the co-op. I'm thinking for future live streams, I'd like to try and get Discord audio working in this, which I have got set up ready, and then maybe have an audio channel set so people can join. And for those who feel comfortable, they can speak verbally through the stream like this instead of just on the chat channel. So that was part of it. It's just something different to do. And yeah, I mean, Turtle, I wouldn't worry about that. I was just, like I said, I'm just trying to give Sloth some stick for taking the credit for all the work that he does try and do for people, because he does do a lot of work for people. He helps people out. There's nothing that Sloth wouldn't help people out with for if he needed it. So yes, I just like to give him a bit of stick every so often. Right, so obviously the harvest is going to do itself. It's going to do its own thing. We'll not set that after field 35. We'll end the stream kind of at this point. I'm just going to last comment from Welsh there. So your first multiplayer was the one I set up for FS22. Which map was that one? He's done a few. So he did Maypole Farm, was one of his multiplayer maps. He also had Attingham Park as a multiplayer map for a bit. So there was 2 multiplayer maps that were UK based, and there was a European map that we had, and I really can't remember what the European map was called now. And yeah, like everything, and like what's lost in there, just before you do depart, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like button, hit subscribe and turn the notifications on if you haven't already. That would be really, really fantastic. It would help me out. I am a very small YouTuber currently, and all the help I can get is very, very beneficial. Please, again, drop the comments about things that you do like, things that you don't like. So if I'm doing things you don't want to watch, let me know, and I'll try and avoid doing them, to encourage you to keep viewing me. But if there's something you really do like to see and watch, again, let me know, and I'll try and make more of it. And for a final treat, because like I said, this is my final word, I have, from feedback on my last live stream, someone said I should have some credits. So with pleasure, here are some credits. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.